Hi, you're about to watch a Deck the Hallmark episode. Thanks for doing that. We want to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Philo. You can get 25% off your Philo membership and watch all of the movies we're talking about by going to philo.tv/DTH.
Unlimited DVR, all your favorite channels in one place. Go to philo.tv/DTH. Philo is for everyone.
Enjoy the episode. This is a Bramble Jam podcast. Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark movies.
I'm Dan. I despise Hallmark movies.
And I'm Randy. I act in Hallmark movies, and I love
this. And this is
the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It is this podcast, and man, I'm excited.
You know, occasionally we'll do this thing with Trace where we talk about somebody, one of the actors in the movie, Mr. Green, Baby It's Cold Inside, and we just yell at Trace, get him on the podcast stat. And usually that doesn't work.
No.
But it worked this time.
It worked this time. Tracy actually did her job for once and booked a guest.
Immediate turnaround. We got Randy Thomas.
This is very exciting. Very exciting. Randy, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be here. Again, it was an honor. I was very familiar with your podcast, so when I got the opportunity to be on it, I was honored, and there's no way I was going to turn it down.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow.
Now, Randy, you're a super fan of the podcast, and you said your favorite episode was what was it again?
Oh, geez, you caught me there. You put me on the spot now.
I'm just kidding, Randy.
The right answer is all of them.
Yeah,
or
this one.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also, I love my buddy Andrew Walker. So
Andrew Walker. Yeah, that's
there
a good.
go.
Yeah, he's on here. He's been on here a half dozen times.
He lives in our studio.
He does.
Now,
He lives in the back.
But Andrew, pipe down.
Yeah.
He's also Canadian, right?
Yes, he is.
That's right.
Yes, and we don't
Like
hold
myself.
that. Yeah, we don't hold that against you guys at all.
Well, and we
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's a great segue. Down here in South Carolina, we think Canada is just such a foreign place for us.
It's kind of magical.
It's magical.
We've really built it up in our minds.
Snow all the time, Tim Hortons, and people are nice. And
everybody lives in igloos. Everybody lives in igloos. Right?
That's right. Give us a little bit of your background, Randy, where you're from, where you grew up, and how you got into acting.
Well, I am originally from the east coast of Canada, a small province called New Brunswick. I grew up in New Brunswick. I went to university in Halifax, but I didn't go to school in the arts. I went to school in business. And fortunately for me, when I watched the movie Top Gun, I remember saying, I could do that. But
I love
in
it.
Atlantic Canada, you don't get opportunities to do that. The only opportunities you have in school back then were musicals. So I don't sing. So that kind of put me on the side of that. But I was an athlete growing up, and I played a lot of soccer, a lot of hockey, hockey, of course, being Canadian and everything like that. And later in life, when I was 27, the company I was working for closed its doors. And I was sitting there going, you know what? Heck with this. I'm going to Montreal. And that's where I started my acting career, taking private classes, and just it grew from there.
Wow. I thought for sure it was going to be I'm going to LA, but no, it was
Montreal.
Well, we don't want to jump too big.
Yeah,
we want to go straight to LA.
Baby steps.
Yeah, no, I wanted to go to LA, and I'd heard a lot of, at the age of 27 though, that's a pretty aggressive push if you don't have a big resume under your belt, because at 27, geez, most people I'd be auditioning against at that time were already in the business 10, 12 years. Right. So I would have got destroyed in LA. I would have got destroyed.
Two questions from that backstory. We zipped over a lot there. One, they only perform musicals like in high school. You just, unless you could sing and dance, there weren't any just regular plays, Randy. They were all musicals.
No, not in the schools that I was at.
Wow.
My school was pretty. My school was, ironically, I would call it it was very preppy. So very athletic, very.
Was it like a boarding school or a private school, or was it just a public?
No, it was a public high school. We just had a lot of tradition, Moncton High School, and but I was an athlete growing up. Like the arts were never really involved in my life growing up. I grew up with 5 brothers in a middle-class family. A lot of meat and potatoes and a lot of love, but the arts wasn't a part of it. Whoops.
Oh, you're right there.
Set off here.
You got excited.
Yeah. The arts
As we all
wasn't a
do.
part. Yeah. So, played sports. And then finally, when I had an opportunity when I was 27, I said, I'm going to go do this. And
So-
here I am today, 25 years later.
The other thing that caught my attention there was Top Gun. You saw Top Gun, and everyone has that. I usually ask people like what their most memorable theater experience was, and clearly for you, Top Gun comes to mind. What was it like? Was it Maverick, Goose? Was it the planes? What was it about Top Gun that you were like, oh my goodness, this is the coolest thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. And also, too, he has his buddy, Goose. And I actually do have a friend I grew up with. We've been friends for 40 years. And recently, actually, I just sent him one of those cameos from a Top Gun lookalike for his birthday.
That's great.
Because, again, we were in university. We were inseparable that way. We were like Maverick and Goose, and people joked about it all the time. But it was on the soccer field, not on film and TV, actually. So that movie, I just felt it was just something like I love a lot of movies. But it was just something at that time in 1986 when Top Gun came out. I was in grade 12, and from then on, it just became a part of. It's one of those movies that if it's on TV, you don't change the channel. That guilty pleasure all the time.
What do you think about them bringing it back, rebooting the Top Gun franchise?
I'm heartbroken that I'm not in it.
Yeah, your manager dropped the ball there.
I would have paid my own way. I would have gone paid my own way. I would have been one of those silly guys though that when Tom would have stuck me in the jets and did like 9 Gs, I'd be peeing myself probably. my suit would have been I would have been a great test subject for the quality of the suit that the pilot would have to wear.
So you're 27, you're in business, the business you work at closes its doors. You decide to act. You've got 5 brothers, a mom and dad. Did they all think you were crazy? Did they think you were just off your rocker, just leaving the thing you've done your whole life, and just to go act? Were they like, Randy, come on, bro?
Yeah, well, one thing I got to say about my parents, they've always been very supportive, and they just want us to be happy. So, they were concerned, but happy they just want me to be happy. So yeah, they were concerned until I finally got to go home and open a movie in my hometown.
Wow. What
I got to
movie was
introduce
that?
it was called The Rocket. It was a hockey movie
where
I played the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. And it was wonderful to be able to introduce it because it kind of vindicated the whole process, be able to stand in front of my hometown, in front of all my family, friends, relatives, and, dignitaries from the city of Moncton, and be able to introduce this on behalf of the producers and CBC.
Wow.
It was a very memorable moment.
So no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, so they did think I was crazy. My friends thought I was crazy, but you know what? It's funny how when they're all concerned, they think you're crazy, but they all live vicariously through my experiences. Like, listen, I was a starving artist. Like, only until the last 5-6 years have I earned a living doing what I love, right? It's taken a while to get there. I was that grumpy waiter years ago, and finally understanding how to manage a business in show business, right?
Yeah.
So, but now everybody's pretty cool with it, and it's paid off.
Most people we talk to, they were bartenders or servers or whatever, while they're trying to make ends meet, and clearly you have those stories. What was the worst job you had while trying to make it as an actor? Like just the thing like, I can't believe I'm still doing this. Like maybe the worst restaurant you worked at or what?
I don't think it was necessarily the place. I think it was when I had to serve a producer or producers sitting with a star actor discussing a project.
Oh, wow.
And I was serving them. That was the worst. I remember serving Sarah Pauly and the producers that she was working with that time in Toronto. That's where I'm located now. That was years ago though. But I remember just dying inside, listen, I've got nothing against the service industry. It's a fact, it's fabulous, but what I always say to actors is it's cool, really cool when you're 20. It sucks when you're 30 and it's hell when you're 40.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And you missed all the cool time because you were in business. You know what I mean? Like that, I get that 100%.
Well, Yeah, go
Take
ahead.
us from, going to Montreal for the first time, taking those classes. At what point did you kind of start to audition for things on the screen? How quickly into that, figuring out how to actually act did
Yeah.
you finally get to the point you were like, I guess it's time to actually go for it?
Yeah, well, I was always a businessman. So I said, I need to launch myself in Montreal. I have this idea that I'm going to take the world by storm, right? And so I went, actually, the first thing I did just before I moved to Montreal is I joined a pageant called the Mr. North America pageant. And I went down to Long Branch, New Jersey, and I competed in the Mr. North America pageant.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
How'd
Yeah,
you
I
do?
did. I was the first runner up. And,
Okay.
and the kiss of death, Mr. Congeniality. And
Oh.
well, actually, on the final question, I broke the time limit rule. And
What was the question?
oh, the question was, how do you think? Do you think the world is a better place with pageants like the Miss Universe or the Miss North America?
And you couldn't get that answer in time, Randy? You just did.
I didn't have a coach there to just say, Randy, no matter what the question is, here's the typical answer, da 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 da, and shut it down. And because because of how long I spoke, I got disqualified, which I didn't know. And
You got disqualified from the pageant?
This is an outrage. This is an
outrage.
outrage. This is what people listening, this is what a stolen election really looks like. Like, this is wrong.
Well, in 1995, I actually think it was the last Mr. North America. I actually have a picture of it. I should have sent it to you guys.
Is it because you said no, the world's not a better place with pageants in it? And they were like, well, you said it. I guess we got to shut it down.
It took him 5 minutes to say it.
I have no problem with pageants whatsoever. Actually, I saw somebody tweet something the other day about the Miss Universe pageant saying, we are going to have a day when there's no pageants. And I said, why? I had an absolutely fabulous experience in 1995 in the Miss North America pageant. And it kind of ended the conversation right there. But yeah, no, I just spoke too long. I didn't get disqualified. I just got downgraded.
I got you.
Apparently, I didn't know I was winning.
If it was me, Randy, I would lean into that Mr. Congeniality. Like, I would call myself Mr. Congeniality. Like, I may call you that from now on, Randy. You never know. I think that's
you're absolutely welcome to. Absolutely. Well,
thank you. I appreciate it. I got permission. I love it.
Okay, so wait. So your plan was to take the world by storm, and you decided, I'm going to start with the pageant scene.
Yeah, I went to the pageant because I believe in the marketing of business. I always have believed that it's show business, not show art. So I get to Montreal, first runner up. Nobody cares about that. Doesn't matter. I start taking acting classes, and then I did a couple small plays. The first play I ever did was with a teacher of mine who recently passed away last year. It was called The Adventures of Captain Neato Man. And the play is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm still friends, actually, with Adam McDonald, who had the lead in that play. And he's actually a director now of series like Slashers on Netflix. And he did a couple movies, one called Backcountry that he wrote and directed, and another one called Pie Wacket. But anyway, we're still friends to this day. He's actually related to Andrew Walker. So there's a small world for you right there.
Yeah. I feel like so many people are related to Andrew Walker. It's unbelievable.
We're all related to Andrew Walker in some way, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, in Montreal, I started taking these small classes, and then I eventually got an agent who I still have today, Sandy Martinez Creative Management in Montreal. And I remember in particular this one year, I had in Canada, you need to book union credits, which is equivalent to SAG. And you have, in order to get into the union before you start becoming technically a union member and you're part of the guild or the clan of actors. And I remember this one year in January, I get 3 auditions in January, all in 1 week, and I land 2 of them.
Wow.
This was then probably in the year 1999. So I'm probably in Montreal for a year and 2 years, doing small things, trying to build things up. I land 2 out of 3, and I remember thinking to myself, it's on, I'm gone.
This is it.
Yeah. Oh, totally it. Totally it. And that was totally it. I didn't book another thing for 6 months, 9 months. But The Adventures of Jules Verne.
Nice.
And a show with Misguided Angels. I remember that.
Oh, wow.
Doing Misguided Angels, and I was playing an angel that was flirting with the female lead.
Classic angel behavior there.
100%. Come to my cloud. So I remember the director walking up to me on set, and like, this is a very short scene, but for some reason he walks up to me and he goes, "Let me see your legs." And I lifted up my legs a little bit, and he goes, "Cut his gown off as short as it can go," because we were all in white gowns and I had electric wings on my back. He goes, "Cut his gown off as short as it goes." I went, "Okay." So anyway, everything was shot from the waist up. I don't know why. I was in a toga all of a sudden, and I looked like the pizza guy. I looked like Little Caesar.
Little Caesar's guy.
Yeah, great memories. Great memories from set.
Wow.
So those are my first 2 credits. Yeah.
In 90, so you've been in the business professionally for 25 years, quarter of a century.
Do you have nice legs?
Well, I was a semi-pro soccer player.
There you go.
I don't know if you know, you're talking to first runner-up Mr. Congeniality.
You don't get that without
Mr.
nice
North
legs.
America.
I'll tell you that much.
That's right. Yeah. Legs.
Yes.
The legs category is why
That's
Patrick
exactly right.
still exists.
That's exactly right.
So
I have friendly legs.
that's right. So let me
Friendly
ask you this. I asked this to everybody we have on, and I feel like I make it a good story out of you. You know, every actor tells us they go through these, you know, they go on hundreds of auditions. And if we can just book 1 or 2 and you'll hit a few and then you'll miss for months or for a year. We've had people say, I hit these 2 things. I didn't have anything for years. Is there a particularly memorably bad audition that you had? Like one where you went in and you left and went, "Oh my gosh, what just happened? They're definitely not calling. Why did I just do that?" Like what is going on? Do you have one of those, Randy, that pops in your head?
Yeah, the worst memory I have, which again I laugh about it, was
we have to, you know, in this
it
profession.
was for the movie The Score.
Okay, with De Niro and Edward Norton. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. The last minute, the opening scene of that movie shows a guy making out with a girl on the couch.
Yep.
And De Niro's behind the couch.
Yep.
Well, they're auditioning for that guy. There were 4 of us brought in. Okay. And they said, "We need to see you as if you're pretending to be a little aggressive with the girl on the couch," except for there's no girl there. So we had to make out and air attack.
Oh,
somebody.
Boy.
So I'm talking like, really, they wanted to see me air kissing, like, embarrassing thing. And the worst part about this is that this is all back on VHS. This is how long ago that was. So there's a casting director out there who are fabulous ladies. They are. They're responsible for a lot of my opportunities in the business in Montreal, but they're also responsible for that one moment in time where I'm air making out with a girl. And but again, right? You want the gig, right? So you'll do whatever you're at.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so that was like leaving that going, "Oh my God, I want that tape back. I want that destroyed." But there's a tape out there with that on it.
Man, if you're listening right now, guys, it's time to scour the internet to find Randy Thomas air making out in a test tape for The Score, which also has Marlon Brando in it, I believe.
Like Brando, De Niro, and Edward Norton.
All-star cast heist movie. Oh man!
Should have showed your legs, Randy. Should have showed your legs, my friends.
I should have.
That's how you would have.
So you booked these 2 things in '99, and then there's a bit of a drought. What was the first thing that you booked after that you thought, okay, this is? I mean, I've got your IMDb pulled up, and you had 3 episodes in Further Tales of the City. You know, you're in a movie called Summer. You're in, you know, and then we start to get. You know, you're in an episode of Monk, King's Ransom, which was an Anthony Anderson film. Like, you've got these things that start happening in between 2002 and 2005. What was the thing where you're like, "Oh my goodness, I think we're going to start gaining some steam here"?
There was a series called Galador, Defenders of the Outer Dimension, and I played the father, or at that in season 1, it's a stranger, and they had action figures for us. We were on the boxes of Captain Crunch cereal. It was owned by Lego and Fox at the time, before Fox was bought by Disney. And I thought, wow. I got called in for the father, the stranger. And then I was told later that it was a father. So I realized, wow, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back in a big way. So in season 2 was supposed to be my action figure and everything.
Oh, wow.
So they had action figures. We were in Toys R Us everywhere. Like I bought all the toys.
You have an action figure of yourself?
No, I was season 2. The
Season 2.
Disney bought Fox
Oh.
that year after season 1, canceled the show because it was up in Montreal.
Oh boy.
And because the Star had told me, Matthew Ewald at the time told me that he was down in LA, and they had like a football field that had every season for the first 5 seasons mapped out for this show.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah. So I thought I've had actually 4 recurring roles in TV series that 2 of them where I would have played a larger role that didn't pan out.
Unbelievable.
No, and that's a story. Like you just never know when you're an actor, right? Like when you catch the one, like again, Andrew. I think Andrew was in Montreal at that time as well. Andrew Walker and Adam. Like there are a lot of actors at the time who did hit the series, and it's very interesting how that affects your career, right? Because everything is about momentum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And actually, I'm experiencing the best momentum of my career now.
Yeah.
And I don't regret, like, of course I would loved it when I was younger, but you know what? Life doesn't happen that way. And sometimes the universe just takes care of things.
Well, you have to have thick skin as an actor. In doing these interviews, we found that people, everyone has a story of if this would have happened then. And it's just like, as an actor, you just got to move to the next thing or you'll never make it because, we've had people say, hey, I was held up all pilot season because I was on this pilot that was just going to be gold and then they just didn't air it. And so, it just happens. And so, that's part of the biz as best we understand. Let me ask you this. You've got a ton of credits, but last thing before we get to Hallmark, a ton of credits on stuff that I would assume a lot of it was in Canada, but some of it that we've definitely heard of, bigger name things. What was the most memorable set that you got to visit or that wasn't a recurring role for you? So either a movie or even if you were just a small part in a TV show, the set that you left going, man, these people are having a blast. And I know that's probably more than one, but is there one that sticks out to you? Man, if I could be a regular on this show, or if I could do this movie again, this crew and cast is really just crushing it. Before you get to Hallmark, is there one that sticks out?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm doing a lot of work right now with a company, with a couple companies that Brainpower Studios out of Toronto, who I just shot with last week with the Christmas movie. I love working with them. And Fireside Productions in Ottawa, I've shot a lot with. I've got a movie coming on Friday night on Lifetime.
Oh, great.
Called Evil Stepmom.
Evil Stepmom. What do you get to play in that? What do you get to play in that role?
I play the father. I play the loving father, widower, 2 beautiful teenagers, and of course I meet the evil, or not so evil that I think, stepmom and her daughter, and again we all come together, and it unfolds in your
Randy,
expected way.
Do you blink twice if you get killed? Okay.
Wow.
Man, he did it. I love it.
No, sir. I'm not going to tell you. No, not a chance. Well, you also got
you got to tune in Friday night. I mean, come on.
But ironically, in all these movies that I play, because of my age range, I very rarely have a wife. She's usually dead. And in the Matchmaker Mysteries with Danica McKellar, a Deadly Engagement, I propose and she gets killed.
Yeah, that's right. You did.
They don't last long.
That's so funny.
Oh, he's married to she's married to Randy. Kill her off right now.
Yeah.
Or an actress reads the script of who's playing the husband. Randy, so you mean I'm dying?
Yeah, you mean I'm dying. I don't have much left.
Every time I hear these Lifetime titles, it makes me just very happy. Like I just love that it exists. Like that those movies are being made. Like it's just what a wonderful world we live in.
Well, I think so. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for these kind of movies because I'm not going to get offered the lead in the score. And even the biggest Canadian actors, look at what they're doing in big American productions when they come to Toronto or Montreal to shoot. They're playing glorified actor roles or small principals, and those are our biggest Canadian actors. Like very few, name a Canadian actor that plays big roles in Hollywood movies. Like
Yeah.
It's just rare, like unless they're already living in LA and they're a star.
Yeah.
But there's very few Colin Fiores of the world, and there's very few why am I drawing blank on her name?
Well, there was some comedy back in the, I mean, like Jim Carrey and Mike, like there was a wave of Canadian comedy that kind of came through. And it happens occasionally, but by and large, you're right. I mean, I think that there's definitely something to that for sure that it's just part of, but more and more American, like United States projects are being filmed in Canada. So it does open that world up, including, which is our next topic, Hallmark.
Yeah. Hallmark and made for TV movies in general, like the one that's coming out this Friday. It's just
I get offered supporting roles in those. Like obviously I'm 53, so I'm a little aged out of the lead.
53, Randy. You're looking good for 53, sir. I mean, come on, 53. Wow.
It's all the filters that I have.
That's right. I love it.
Mr. Congeniality.
How'd you end up getting hooked up with Hallmark? Like, what was the first Hallmark thing you did, and how'd they find out about you, and how did you become an offer supporting role guy for them?
Yeah. I've actually throughout my career, earlier I did a movie called Circle of Friends.
Okay.
Out of Montreal years ago. So throughout my career, I've done a lot of principal roles in Lifetime movies or Hallmark or that genre, the genre. And only until recently have I started hitting my spot, hitting my mark with these movies and getting offered larger roles. And a lot of these production companies, they like to, like Hallmark, they love to build brands and work with people they trust and that they like. And so that's really what's been happening, is the building of relationships and trust and getting, Mr. Congeniality walks on set, he has no problems, right? Like
you don't want to get on his bad side. You should see his rider, Mr. Congeniality. It's unbelievable. They have to have a lavender diffuser in his trailer. Like it's the wildest thing.
I can't believe my agent gave you that. I can't believe he told you that. And that everybody has to give me a hug in the morning.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is really weird over the past year.
COVID, that's tough.
People were very like, I don't know. He's like, it's in the rider.
I know.
Nothing you can do.
There's nothing I can
do.
I
know. You've noticed it probably in the Hallmark movies, everything like that. There's a lot of them that don't have kisses anymore, anything like that.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I think that's wrong. But that's.
You think what's wrong? That they don't kiss in the movie? What's wrong?
I think that with all the testing and the precautions that we've been taking and all the isolation and all the quarantining, that I get hired for a job, then I'm going to do it. And in the script, these writers, like people, a Hallmark film, people will say, well, it's a certain genre, it's this, it's that. And I'm like, hold on now. There's been at least 5 to 10 people that have put notes on that script. That's an important piece of writing. It's been written a certain way for a certain reason. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for writers. So I really try to adhere to the script every opportunity I have. Like I want to deviate. So if the script says there's a kiss in the movie, it should be there.
Yeah.
Well, and Randy's you've already spent your time kissing the air, for different roles. So like I've already paid my dues. I've already paid my dues.
Maybe that's why I never get offered those, because maybe somebody saw that video of me air kissing.
Is this the guy from The Score?
Horrible. Obviously, I didn't get that role. So I got to work on my air kissing.
Yeah, I've got to go back and see who did get it now. I got to go watch that scene just to see.
I know the guy's name's Sven.
His name is Sven.
Swede. His name is Swede.
His name is Swede. Wow.
Yeah, out of Montreal. Yeah.
Man, that's wild. He would. That's right. So take us through, and I think, I don't know when the last time you've worked on a Hallmark. It sounds like you're filming or were filming very recently, last week.
Is that confirmed for Hallmark, or is that up in the air?
You're right. That's probably still up in the air, but it's called it's called Christmas on Fifth Avenue. So
Okay, that's a Hallmark movie. If I've ever heard one, I'll call it a Hallmark. You can just not correct me. It'll be a thing.
right.
So are some of this protocol, are people starting to live and understand that we can give the actors more freedom within this protocol since we're all being safe, we're all getting, we're hopefully, trying to get vaccinated and push that out. Like, do you feel better about what was filmed last week versus like Baby It's Cold Inside when they filmed that?
Well, hold on. Now, all the sets I've been on have had very strict protocols, including Baby It's Cold Inside.
Yeah.
And
I'm just talking about from a standpoint of letting the actors where I know, no, we got to go and visit a Hallmark set during COVID and they're being, I'm not suggesting they're not being great. What I'm saying is that because of all the protocol, it made it tougher for actors to be actors and do the things.
As the world opens up more, are the sets also opening up a little bit more from a precautionary standpoint?
right. Well, as far as the kissing goes, it's always the actor's choice. So if you don't see a kiss in the movie, it's because it was the actors.
Okay.
Now, I hope I don't get anybody in trouble for putting that out there, but that's ridiculous. No, it's take responsibility. No problem. You don't want to kiss? That's your option. That's your choice. It has nothing to do with me. My polite opinion is, if it's written in the movie and you accept the role, you do it. Again, I'm not bashing it, but everybody has a choice.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I really do. I really do. It just that I have an opinion on it, and considering if there weren't any precautions, if there weren't any isolating, if there weren't any quarantining, then yeah, I would say none.
Yeah.
But we're tested. Oh my God, like we're tested multiple times in a shoot. Even for a day player, I get tested twice. Like when I did, I had a small role on Sex Life. I was tested twice, and the day I walked in.
How many days were you on set for Baby It's Cold Inside?
Baby It's Cold Inside. We were in Ottawa filming the Sugar Bush scenes.
At the Ice Castle, yeah.
No, well, the Ice Castle is in Quebec City.
Oh, okay. So were you not ever at the Ice Castle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%. We were in the Ice Castle for 9 days.
Okay. You were there for the whole shoot?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I was, because I was either in every second day or every day. I had I think 12 out of the 16 shooting days. Like, as you know, these movies are shot between
15
14
days.
and 16 days, depending on the movie itself. And so, yeah, I had the pleasure of working with all those actors the whole time. And it was funny because a lot of times at the Ice Hotel, I'd have, one short scene and I'd be done for the day. I'd be just relaxing in the hotel or going skiing or skating or
Man, the Ice Hotel looks awesome.
It does look cool.
It is.
Did you get to stay in the Ice Hotel?
No, well, the way it works, actually, no, we did not. The way the Ice Hotel works is that you rent a room. If you want to rent a room in the Ice Hotel, they give you a suite in the hotel. And then at night, you go out to your room. And that's why during the day, it's always free for filming and for tourists, because nobody stays in there during the day. They come out in their robes at night and they go into the hotel and there's a fire and they have tea and they relax and they get to enjoy the environment. And then in the morning, they kind of like go back to their warm room where they can have a shower and everything like that. And then tourists and film crews can go in and do what they need to do.
Gotcha. Wow. That's wild.
It is wild.
Unbelievable.
I want to know, when we found out that movie was being made on the social medias and stuff, we're like, oh wow, they're really getting ahead of the game here.
For Christmas
or for winter 2022.
Yeah.
And then we find out it's going to air in May, which didn't seem like where you would put a winter movie usually. When you were making it, did you know that it was going to be a pre-summer movie at the Ice Hotel, or what was the deal there?
No, actually, and the real story behind that movie was that when COVID started in 2020, that was our first day of shooting.
Oh, wow.
So I was in Toronto and the big announcement was coming out later that day on Monday. So the actors there were different stars of that movie last year.
No way.
Who are the stars? Come on.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to do some research on it.
Oh, man.
I called the producer and I said, do I get on the train today to go to Ottawa? He goes, yes, come on. So I get on the train, go to Ottawa, go through all my fitting. It's the first day of principal shooting. Go through all my fittings and everything, and I'm on my way to the hotel, and I see the producer's name on the phone, and I go, "Hey, what does he want? Probably wants to go to dinner or something." I go, "Hey, how you doing, Hayden?" And he's like, "I gotta send you home." And I was like, "What?" So basically, we went to Ottawa, and then the four actors and I turned around and came right back.
Unbelievable.
That day, yeah. And the stars were on set, so they were done and they left. And then I got the call in January. "Are you ready to go?" And I said, "For what, Ice Hotel?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Sure." And then we got it shot. And like, because obviously the Ice Hotel, COVID, like originally we were scheduled to shoot it the last week the Ice Hotel was open last
Wow.
year. And then it got postponed all the way to January.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
we got, yeah. So I'm not that surprised that it came out so quickly, because possibly it was pre-sold.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So they want to air it, right? They want to get it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that makes a lot more sense now. We didn't know
Yeah.
it stopped filming the first day and they had different stars
Yeah.
attached.
That's wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Like I was back with that same company throughout the summer shooting Christmas Wheels, and there was something else before I did Evil Stepmom in the fall, and then Ice Hotel. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen. I really
Wow.
didn't. I didn't.
That's
I didn't.
unbelievable.
They were talking about it, and I said, "Geez, wow, I can't believe that."
So did your character change any from the original? Like, because Mr. Green he's just a fun, like, this movie needs that character desperately. We laughed just so, like, there's so many things about the character that we thought were really funny, and we can get into that. But was that the character written in January of 2020, or did it change some over the year that COVID?
No, it didn't change at all. And I got to give the director, Marita Graviak, full credit for this, because I instinctively went in to make him a comedic,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
archetype or stereotype.
Right.
And she said, "No, I'd like you to, play him the way that you saw, basically. And, with a few funny moments, let the comedy be in the situation. Don't be a character.
Well,
Be you in this guy."
What for me was funny is the comedy was like the French accent was supposed to be your real accents, and the American accent supposed to be the fake one. But there's a little bit of a flip there, because like when you speak in the American accents, there's so much gravitas. Like we talked about, I would let you give a pregame talk, Mr. Green with the American accent, give a pregame talk to a football team before running out of the locker room. Like what you say just carries all this weight. It's very charming. It's very, it evokes a lot of emotion. You look people in the eye. And so it was almost too good to be a fake accent. Like I want to watch a movie where that guy gets to talk like that all movie long. That's what I want to watch.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope that a lot of producers are listening and feel the same way. And I hope that after Friday night, when that movie comes out, Evil Stepmom, I hope that
where Randy does not get murdered with an ice pick in the shower.
No, it was, I love that character, Mr. Green. And, she actually asked me to dial down the accent a little bit, because for me, the only time anybody should have heard me ever speak American would have been the opening scene where I speak American, then quickly switch to French when I'm whispering to Jocelyn about she recognizes me, and then maybe towards the very end. But they asked me to break, the director, and I think it was a good choice. Asked me to break it a couple times throughout the movie so that people wouldn't forget, and be like, thank you very much for your compliment. But if people heard that American accent the whole time, and they might forget who I really was, which I don't know.
I would personally would have loved to see the American accent the whole time and then the French at the very end. I get why they did it. I know I'm not Hallmark's target audience, but for me, like hearing you that confidently do that and it being a disguise was wonderful. But it also made the character a lot of fun. I want you to ask him the question that you brought up in the Wait What
at the very end.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're supposed to be anonymous. Yeah. Like no one's supposed to know what you
Yeah.
look like. Yeah. So at the end of
Yeah.
the movie, you write this article, and right below the headline is a picture of you. Was
Yeah.
that your big coming out party there? Like what happened? I think it's you're not anonymous anymore. I don't.
Well, that's a bit of the tongue in cheek of it, right? Like when we were filming and discussing the script and doing the read throughs and stuff, you know, I said to Marita, you know, instead of me being totally anonymous, there's a part of me that likes the attention. So it's that pretend. I don't want anybody to recognize me, but if you sit me at the wrong table, I'm gonna let you know, right?
Yeah.
So even with the dessert scene, when they come out with the desserts, I pretend to, you know, look confused, everything like that. But I know, and I'm very grateful for all the attention. I'm grateful for the upgrade. I'm grateful for the attention.
Well,
and so that my character knew. I played him like I knew that they kind of know, but I'm going along, you know, pretending to have the charade kind of thing.
At the end, you know, your character wears a beret, and I'm like, if you want to scream that you're the restaurant, the hotel critic, having your picture next to the article and wearing a beret, I think that covers it. Like, I think that announces to everyone you're the guy. Like those two things, they seal that case shut.
Well, that's exactly it, right? Like let's face it, it's all tongue in cheek, and that headshot actually is one of my real headshots.
That's great. I love it.
The beret was the director's idea again, and I actually kept it. I have it right here in my closet.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a nice touch. Like again, this is what I love about like, you know, I've spoken to a few people, and even in interviews who were very hard on the movie, and I'm kind of like, you know, you remember what we're filming here.
Yeah.
This isn't the score.
Yeah.
This is a Hallmark movie called Baby It's Cold Inside. It's a
Robert De Niro's not walking through that door, kids.
Well, you know, and again, that's the whole thing. Like, that's what I love about these movies. That it's traditional,
you know,
values and fun and tongue in cheek, and nobody's going to get too hurt. Nobody's going to, you know.
We're critical of the movies here on the show, and hopefully with a lighthearted touch and to bring some joy. But one of our critiques of the movie is that not everyone, in our opinion, was on your wavelength when it came to what the movie was trying to accomplish. Like, you're in an ice castle, it's being released in May, and we felt like the Mr. Green character was the thing that people should have been. You know, Steve Lund is an actor that we've seen in a lot of movies, and he is very zippy, fast. You know, he has a lot of times he's in movies where he gets to tell a lot of jokes. And we felt like the rest of the movie was more about the Winter Castle, whereas we wanted to see more of that kind of humor of this French guy who has an American accent, but is wanting to be caught at the same time. Like, we liked what you did. We felt the movie, not that we were hating on the movie that we want to be at the Winter Castle, but like the movie could have done with more of that, in our opinion.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? That was the thing for us.
Yeah, no, and I understand that. And I actually, my first time I worked with Steve was a movie called Christmas Incorporated, way back in 2010. Wow, that's amazing. And you know, like, again, it's I love hearing people's opinions about the movie and how they can be better. And again, you know, hey, people want more cowbell, they want more Mr. Green. I would have loved to provide it. That's right. But you know, it's again, you know, there's so many moving pieces to these movies, right? And then you got to you bring it all together. Then you have characters and actors and interpretations, and the director, you know, Marita, like, I think she's fabulous because she definitely has a vision, but she also lets us play, and some things work and some things don't, and some things get cut out of the movie that might have, you know, because there's always a director's cut, and there's the producers that want,
of course,
thing, and there's so many little nuances that kind of happen, and so, you know, it's just interesting, like you said, about Steve being usually very snappy and having jokes, and again, choices are made on the day, like, and you go with them, and you hope they work, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. Like, you know, I'm very blessed that the feedback on my character has been positive. Of course, some people are critiquing the accent, some people are critiquing how, you know, certain things, and it's like, I'm just like, listen, again, Mr. Green could be in the score, but he'd be a heightened version of that character in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, with the accent, of course, the accent would be perfect and everything would be fine. But again, where it was, and I'm very blessed that I'm getting, and I thank you so much for the feedback on that. Because,
Absolutely.
we love to hear it, and it's, and I agree. I've heard that comment that the Ice Castle seemed to have been a big part of that movie, when people might have liked to see a little bit more of the people involved.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, we love you, and we want
That's
more
right.
Randy and Hallmark.
That's what I'm talking
is what
about.
we
We need
wanna
more
say.
Mr. Congeniality.
That's
is what we
exactly
need.
right.
Is it time for the rapid
It's time
fire?
for the rapid fire. We each could ask you 3 questions, and you have to
Sure.
answer as honestly and as quickly as possible. I'm going to start with my good friend.
The best Canadian food item or restaurant that we just don't have here down in the United States.
That you don't have.
Yeah, that we
Okay,
don't have,
then
or it's tough to find.
I'm going to say maple bacon.
Maple bacon.
Like
Okay.
you cook bacon, you let it fry, and just before it's finished, you pour maple syrup on it so it candies it.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
fantastic.
Getting hungry
This
now.
is really
You can never argue with that. That's
I'm
right.
so hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are going to be murdered on Friday, but if you were going to get murdered in a movie, just give me just show it to me right now. Like, I want you to get into character, and I'm gonna stab you, and just give me how would you act? Are you gonna really be flamboyant with it? Or are you gonna play it kind of? Oh boy, give it to
Well,
me.
it was funny. I died in a series called actually, The Adventures of Jules Verne, one of my very first movies. I died, and I think that's the only time I've died.
So
my
far,
acting has died, but I remember thinking about, I get bit by a tarantula, and I remember itemizing it through the stages of everything from ouch, anger, pain, panic, and eventually acceptance that you're dying. And so it was a real strangle scene. So how would I just send you that video of me?
I love that.
Choking
I
to
love
death.
it.
That's what I want.
love
I mean, I'm choking to death.
Yeah.
And then you can tag it on something.
I love it for sure. What, aside from Top Gun, the
Yeah.
most memorable or your favorite movie that you've seen in the theater?
Way back in the day, Grease.
Okay.
They did everything. John Travolta was everything I wasn't.
Singer.
Big side singer, dancer,
I love it.
playing opposite Olivia Newton-John.
Come on. What else can you ask
Where
for?
else do you need to go? I mean,
I love it.
And so yeah, that movie's still a favorite of mine. And of course, I'm trying to think of a movie in a theater that moved me in a way. Lately, the most recent one that moved me would have been on Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That really, I remember being here with my fiance and watching it and going, I was just so energized. I was just so, and I was never a Queen fan growing up. I never, I like the obvious ones, but I've never delved into their lives or their careers, and that to me was fantastic.
Remy Malek is so good in that movie.
So good.
Really, really good.
Oh yeah, no, on another level. He deserved his Oscar for that, for sure.
Yeah. You said you're doing what you love, but when you're not doing what you love, what is another hobby? What's a hobby that you do to kind of fill your time that you really enjoy?
I love golfing.
Yeah.
But honestly, the thing that takes second precedence in my life right now, honestly, is cryptocurrency.
Really?
Hey, are you do you have some Dogecoin?
No, I bought and sold, and I made money, and I'm done with it.
I love it.
I'm not touching it anymore.
Wow. What are you into? Is it Bitcoin? Is it Ethereum? What is it right now? What's the play? What's the play for us, Randy? We're trying to get into
Data, especially since you're in broadcast TV.
That's right. Yeah.
Theta is the platform of the future for that. And
Theta.
Google's involved and everything like that. So Theta token.
Theta token. Mark it down.
Theta
I love
and
it.
T-Fuel. And then there are a few others too, but those ones will survive the big crashes.
Man, this guy getting our inside tip here.
It's been a tough week.
That's right. Hey, what?
Yeah, it's been a tough week. You're right.
Yeah.
It has been. But again, it's a great time to buy. And again,
It's a great time to buy.
If
That's
you
right.
hopefully you sold and put your stuff into cash, and then you're going to buy back when it drops because it's going to go down again.
Man, he
Big.
gets it.
He gets
All right, last one for me that just slipped my mind. Oh yeah, your business that closed down.
Yeah, yeah.
What when you were 27? What was it? Like, what was the business and what were you doing there?
It was a call center. It was the first business to business call center.
Okay.
And actually, we were at the time one of the first ones to market and promote Rogers Communications up there, which is a cell phone, and they're huge now.
Yeah, they've sponsored the Blue Jays in Toronto.
Yeah,
Like,
oh yeah,
they're,
exactly,
so
exactly.
massive.
Yeah, so that's what it was. It was a marketing communications company with a call center, and yeah, it was a
Wow.
it was actually, and it was a part of my family's business. So
Okay.
it was a tough time to watch it close. And,
Wow, I bet.
But again, looking back now, it's you know, again, you move on, and it was what it was. You know, I went from being 26 and having 30 employees and working with my dad to moving on with my life in a whole different direction. And
Wow.
now I don't regret it. Of course, there were things I wish back then that wouldn't happen the way they did, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
You pick yourself up and move on.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Last one.
Yeah.
An actor, living or dead, I guess, that you would love to sit down, have a meal with, and just pick their brain about acting in particular.
About acting. Wow. About acting. I think it might sound crazy, but like there are actors I would like to do just to hang out with.
Right. Yeah.
But somebody that I would just be in awe of, I think, would probably be Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because she's so iconic. Like
Yeah.
she seems to always be up for the Oscar,
Yeah.
you know? And, you know, even people like Kate Winslet.
Oh yeah.
What I
She
love about
crushes
Tom, yeah. And you know what, like, I love Tom Cruise. I really do. I love his movies.
He is committed to his craft. There's no doubt
Well, no,
about
but
it.
he is, and yeah, he's committed, and he actually does most of his own stunts, and like he whether I don't care about personal life, like I'm talking about the product and the longevity, and you know he's not your Brad Pitt, right? He's not your 6 foot super handsome guy. I mean, he's not a bad looking guy at all, but you know what I mean? He's made so much out of his life and his choices that he's had a very successful career. Yeah,
Can't argue with any of those.
I think Tom might be mine, just from a like, tell me the story of this stunt.
It would be Tom if I could get like he's so good with the press at not giving them any information he doesn't want to give them. That if I knew I was going to get the real answers,
Yeah, I want the real.
I could spend a day listening to that guy talk. But the stunts are unbelievable. Like he's a good act. Like A Few Good Men, Magnolia. Like he's a good actor. But the stunts he puts together for Mission Impossible, where he's 10,000 feet up, 30,000 feet up, skydiving. He's on the side of a plane. Like they're bonkers. He is definitely one of the most interesting and one of the best at what he does. He's so committed to what he does.
And I'm gonna put this out there for people, like, you know, actors. A lot of times you'll hear people criticize an actor, and I would say you got to remember who you're subconsciously comparing them to.
Yeah.
You're going to criticize, like, just because you think somebody's a B actor, like they're still in the top probably 1,000 actors.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
The top 1%. That's right.
Yeah, like people will be really hard on an actor, and it's like, I'm like, well, you know, like it's the typical one that everybody will say, they'll go on about, say, Keanu Reeves or something like that. I'm like, well, stop now. Like, keep in perspective here.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
Like these actors are good actors. It's that you're comparing them to the Meryl Streeps of the world. You're comparing them to, you know, the Brandos and stuff like that. And you, you might want to.
Of course.
He's well, slow down the horse a little bit here.
That's right. Of course.
You know, and again, you know what? Just do what you do. Do it with love and be kind and then, you know, just have some fun, because I mean that's what we're here for. Like, and everybody, you know, like, yeah, I want to be better. There are things in my career I look at and I cringe. I watch it. Oh my God, it's so bad. But you know what? I'm at a point now where everything I look at in my career, and I hope every actor does, that was the best that I was that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm moving to become better.
Man.
And
It's inspiring stuff. It's
and that's what I hope for everybody in life and anything, right? Like, I think it's awesome that you guys do this podcast. I think it's awesome that it's video, and I think it's awesome, now you can disseminate it through so many different platforms, and you're passionate about what you do. And I thank you so much. And that's why I'll always make the time for you guys. Like it's just, I just love this stuff. Like, I'm very
we love
happy
you,
for
Randy.
you guys.
We're
Thank you.
thankful that you took some time to be on the pod with us, and we wish you all the best moving forward. We hope to get to see a lot more of you on the Hallmark Channel and Lifetime and wherever else you may end up. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. You guys are awesome, and I had a blast. And
Thanks, man.
yeah, keep doing what you do, and I'm going to share the heck out of everything you have, whether I'm in it or not.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I love
And
it.
you know what? We always end every episode and interview by wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys too.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast. It's presented by Philo TV. It's produced by Brandon Gray and recorded live in Greenville, South Carolina. Set decor is by Plum at Haywood Mall. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on Bramble Jam Podcast Network, you can go to bramblejampodcast.com.